If you're dating a Filipina or you're thinking about starting a relationship with a Filipino woman, you may be wondering, what is she actually looking for in a relationship? Is it romance, financial stability, marriage, family, security, loyalty? The answer isn't as simple as one list of qualities, because Filipinas are individuals, and every woman has her own personality, experiences, and expectations. But Filipino culture does influence how many women think about relationships, family, commitment, and respect. So today, we're going to look at some of the qualities that many Filipinas may value in a serious relationship, and, just as importantly, what can make a relationship work or fail. Let's get started. One of the most important things in any relationship is respect. And for many Filipinas, respect can be especially important because relationships are often viewed as something that should involve mutual consideration. She wants to feel that you respect her opinions, her boundaries, her family, and her ambitions. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything she says. Healthy relationships involve disagreements. But there's a huge difference between saying, "I don't agree with you," and saying, "You're stupid." The first is disagreement. The second is disrespect. If you're dating a Filipina, don't assume that being financially successful automatically makes you a good partner. How you treat her when you're frustrated may tell her much more about your character. Respect also means listening. If she tells you something bothers her, don't immediately dismiss it. Sometimes she isn't looking for a solution. Sometimes she simply wants to know that you understand how she feels. Another major factor is loyalty. For many women, a serious relationship isn't something casual. If she believes you're building a future together, she may expect commitment and faithfulness in return. That means being consistent. If you tell her you love her today but disappear for 3 days tomorrow, that's going to create uncertainty. And uncertainty can damage trust very quickly. Loyalty isn't only about avoiding cheating. It's also about keeping your promises. If you say you'll call, call. If you say you'll visit, make the effort. If something changes, communicate. Small actions repeated over time often mean more than grand romantic gestures. And remember, trust is earned through consistency, not demanded through words. Now we come to one of the biggest cultural differences that foreigners may encounter: family. In the Philippines, family relationships can play a very important role in people's lives. Parents, siblings, grandparents, cousins, and extended family may remain closely connected. So if you're dating a Filipina seriously, don't be surprised if her family becomes part of the relationship. She may want you to meet her parents. She may talk about her siblings frequently. Family celebrations may be important, and she may feel a responsibility toward her parents or relatives. This can sometimes surprise Western men. You might think, why is her family involved in our relationship? But from her perspective, family may simply be an important part of her life. The key is finding a healthy balance. You should respect her family. But you also need boundaries as a couple. A strong relationship isn't about choosing between your partner and her family. It's about finding a way for everyone to coexist respectfully. Many women, not only Filipinas, appreciate a partner who has direction in life. That doesn't mean you need to be rich. You don't need a luxury car. You don't need to own a mansion. But having goals can be attractive. Maybe you're building a business. Maybe you have a career you're passionate about. Maybe you're working toward financial stability. Maybe you're simply trying to become a better version of yourself. The important thing is that you're moving forward. A man who knows what he wants and takes responsibility for his own life can provide a sense of stability. But there's an important distinction. Being responsible is attractive. Acting superior isn't. Don't assume that because you're a foreigner, you're automatically a better partner. Your character matters much more than your passport. Of course, romance matters. Many Filipinas appreciate affection and thoughtful gestures. And romance doesn't necessarily mean expensive gifts. It could be remembering her favorite food, sending a thoughtful message, planning a date, bringing flowers, checking that she arrived home safely, or simply spending quality time together. The important thing is showing that you're paying attention. But don't confuse constant communication with healthy communication. Some couples love texting all day. Others don't. The right amount of communication depends on the people involved. So instead of assuming what she wants, ask, how do you like to communicate when we're apart? That simple question can prevent a lot of misunderstandings. Communication is another major part of a successful relationship, and this can become particularly important in international relationships. Why? Because you may come from completely different cultures. You might interpret silence differently. You might have different ideas about dating. You might have different expectations about money, family, marriage, or personal space. Something that seems completely normal to you may seem strange to her, and vice versa. So don't rely on assumptions. Talk about expectations. Talk about finances. Talk about where you want to live. Talk about children. Talk about marriage. Talk about careers. Talk about family responsibilities. These conversations aren't necessarily romantic, but they can prevent serious problems later. Let's address a topic that often creates controversy: money. Some people assume that a Filipina dating a foreign man must be interested primarily in money. That's an unfair generalization. There are certainly relationships where financial expectations are important, but many Filipinas are looking for the same thing many people around the world want: a responsible partner who can contribute to a stable future. There's a big difference between wanting stability and wanting someone to finance your entire life. If you're entering a serious relationship, talk openly about money. Who pays for dates? How will expenses be shared? What happens if one person earns significantly more? Will you support relatives? Where will you live? These questions may not be exciting, but they're important. Another important quality is feeling appreciated for who she actually is. Don't enter a relationship expecting to change her into your ideal woman. Don't assume that because she's Filipina, she will automatically behave according to some stereotype. She may be traditional, she may be independent, she may be career-focused, she may want children, she may not want children, she may love living in the Philippines, she may dream about living abroad. The point is, get to know the woman, not the stereotype. Ask questions, listen to her experiences, understand her goals, and let her be herself. Ultimately, if the relationship becomes serious, many couples want to know, where is this going? For some Filipinas, marriage and building a family may be important goals. For others, career, independence, or simply having a loving long-term partnership may come first. There is no universal Filipino relationship blueprint. The important thing is that your goals are compatible, because chemistry can start a relationship, but compatibility is what helps keep it alive. So, what is a Filipina looking for in a relationship? There isn't one universal answer, but many women may value qualities such as respect, loyalty, emotional security, family connection, honesty, affection, stability, and a partner with direction in life. And perhaps the biggest lesson is this: don't date a Filipina because you have an idea of what Filipino women are supposed to be like. Date her because you genuinely like her. Learn her personality, understand her culture, respect her boundaries, communicate openly, and build something together. Because at the end of the day, a successful relationship between a foreigner and a Filipina isn't really about nationality. It's about two people deciding that they're better together than apart. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos about relationships, dating, travel, and life in the Philippines. See you in the next video.